Surviving Sister Wives contains adult content that may not be suitable for Latter-day Saints or sinners. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello and welcome to Surviving Sister Wives.
I'm Corey.
And I'm Carly, and this is Robyn's #1 New York Times bestseller, Becoming Sister Wives.
The story of an unconventional marriage.
By Kody, Meri, Janelle Christine, and Robyn Brown.
Specifically this chapter, Chapter 4, Robyn and Kody, the love story of our lifetime. It's really the start of it all, I suppose, in a lot of different ways. The start of it all, the end of it all, the beginning of the end.
This chapter annoyed me. I mean, I knew it was gonna. How is it not? It's the Robyn section. But it felt like it went on for an unnecessarily long amount of time. Like the number of pages. It was too much reading for a very short story.
I don't think it was that far off as far as the actual duration of pages.
Why? How many was it? It felt like it was an eternity for me.
Well, it's saying 64 to 87, but there's a bunch of the photos too at the end of this part. So that doesn't count. So what is this? 64 to...
Are we going to talk about the photos?
64 to 83. Yeah, so then there was like 4 pages of photos. This is 19 pages.
See, that would have been perfect. They should have moved the photos up before Robyn's section, and then we could have started hers on page 69.
Well, that would have been very close. I did make a note. I circled and highlighted page 69 because I said, of course, that's during the Robyn section. It's where the 6 and the 9 just go right in together.
I'm assuming we're going to get some dramatic readings from Robyn Brown herself. Is that correct?
If you have any lines that you would like to call out directly, yeah, just let me know.
What, in real time? Or
yeah, I guess.
I guess I'm standing in for the audience.
As we get to them, yeah.
Okay.
I was raised in a polygamous family in southern Utah. So the first sentence was a lie because it wasn't really a polygamous family necessarily, as her mom was the additional wife.
The second wife. I mean, she's not wrong about that, just... in a different sense. She was the other woman, the other wife.
Not like a polygamous family, like he split time. So I think that's another thing that she's kind of leaving in the dark here.
Wasn't it giving old school when you'd find out that somebody's dad just had a completely separate family that lived somewhere else and nobody knew about them? He just disappeared for long periods of time and it's discovered as a deep, dark family secret after he passes?
Summer dad, yeah. And if that's not a sign of the economic times, then I don't know what is. Nobody can have a secret family anymore. Nobody can support their actual family anymore.
They took that away from us, huh?
From us? Maybe not us, but like they took it away from society in general, yes.
It's a thing that nobody has to face anymore. A trauma that's been retired, if you will. Of course, Alice and her husband had a wonderful, romantic honeymoon experience that lasted forever. For years and years and years and years.
And I like where Robyn is calling things out directly too, of like how they put their family and the happiness in front of petty arguments. You know, little disagreements that don't really mean anything in the long run. And we've seen how Robyn does with that. I feel like that was more of a jab towards the other wives as she was entering into the family at first, but then it kind of becomes a reflection of Robyn in the long run.
Well, she always has to come across as really sanctimonious, right? Like, here I am preaching to the others about how they're supposed to behave, that you should be prioritizing the family and everybody's happiness over all these little squabbles and things that don't really matter in the long run. The way I took this, though, was they prioritized their happiness over everyone and everything else. And I think that's what she and Kody have achieved.
That's what they do. Yeah. That's the goal. I think that was basically what they were working with here.
Perhaps 2 ways to read that sentence.
Robyn is also under the delusion that she has decided to be a third wife. Well, not a third wife. That was Christine.
To live plural marriage.
She wanted sister wives. She had that spiritual testimony, lightning bolt moment with God in her teenage years, even though then she's talking about her first marriage, and it didn't really seem like there was any intention to join or to like have plural wives join in that relationship.
No, and she skipped a lot of important stuff, I feel like, because we just get right to, I got married to a fellow member of my faith when I was 21.
I wanted the bad Robyn years. I wanted the
rebellious,
bebopping,
getting knocked up in college years,
VHS tape dancing that was going on in that interim.
Her
that
party
happened.
years.
Yeah, I needed the Robyn party years, but she just glosses right over that.
It's kind of an important element of the story that you ended up in this marriage because your back was essentially against the wall because you were pregnant and nobody wanted you to be an unwed mother. Like maybe that would give us a foundation for we struggled right from the start.
That's a big, broad way of saying that without saying that at all.
Throughout her chapter, the one thing that is a continuous thread is that Robyn cares a lot about what other people think of her.
Yeah, that is a lot of her personal experience is framed through how other people view her, too.
Which is funny because now, I mean, she's been on television for almost 20 seasons of TV, and all she's doing is being judged by people.
For public fodder at this
I don't think
point.
that could be very good for her mental health.
I don't think so. Yeah, I agree. Absolutely. I like that her realization for, I definitely, without a doubt, want to have sister wives was very shortly after Dayton was born. So
yes, I picked up on that too. You know what? This
timing.
Baby, it's a lot of work.
It's a lot. I would like to have other people that I could just kind of like hand the kid off to at certain points. That would be really nice.
I'm starting to see what the benefits of sister wives could bring into my life.
Okay. Yes, it's making more sense now.
And she probably, much like Kody, needed to dilute her marriage a little bit.
That was the plan, allegedly, because then she's saying that their marriage didn't last long enough to bring a second wife into our family. I tried my hardest to make the marriage work. After 7.5 years of marriage, we separated.
7.5 years and 3 children. Within that time frame, not enough time to find another sister wife when apparently sometimes it only takes like 2 weeks.
A couple months at most. Yeah, we're talking courtship, start to finish, to be married in.
Just couldn't pencil that in. Couldn't find the time.
Okay, the other part that gets me is it's 7.5 years of marriage, they separated, and then a year and a half later, they were divorced. So we're talking 9 years in total.
I have a lot to say about this because not just the time frame is a lot. That's a long marriage. I think we can go ahead and say that. For someone who says it was difficult and plagued with difficulties from the very beginning.
From the start, yeah.
Probably seems like it would have been a little more short-lived than that.
But then also, does she have a Plath family attorney who's handling the divorce here for a year and a half on the divorce? That's actually record time for a Plath family divorce.
Well, let me ask you, though. Do you get the impression from this chapter that she filed for divorce, that it was mutual, or that he was the one who filed?
A year and a half later, divorced. So does this seem like something that Robyn would be able to do? Statistically, it's the woman who does this, right? With
He
the paperwork.
filed.
Okay.
He filed the paperwork in 2007.
Man, we're bucking
divorce.
gender norms here.
Which I think that is also fascinating because so much of this goes on to be about how it was a horrible marriage and it was on Preston. But he's the one who files from divorce or for divorce from you? She goes on later to say that it was justified. She knows that her divorce from him was completely justified on her end. But that makes it sound like you're the one who filed, doesn't it?
Yeah, on what basis is it justified then? Could you explain that further?
So he files in 2007. They're not divorced for another year and a half. That backs us into 2009. She meets Kody Brown in 2009.
Mid-recession. Times are tough. Robyn has created an entire mental persona to shield her from the reality of being a single mother at this point.
Well, not just being a single mother. There's a lot of language throughout this page. We're on page 65 that I highlighted because it sounds a bit familiar from someone else's recent divorce. Part of me still believed that I was a failure. I felt betrayed. She-Rah helps her put up this barrier so that she wouldn't fall for anyone's tricks again.
Well, here's the other one, too. She had been badly mistreated and misled by my ex-husband.
Isn't that funny?
Tricked. She was tricked. She was fooled.
Not the part about being mistreated, but if we're going to say words like tricked, misled, those sound a little bit like a version of a story that we heard about Kody's marriages to Christine and Meri.
So has he adopted this? That's his excuse for marrying people that weren't a right fit for him. So then that's Robyn's narrative that she formed. That's been widely accepted. So he's kind of taken that on for his story as well.
I think that most of Kody's thoughts come from Robyn, and we're seeing them right here on the page. He stole her divorce story.
Maybe like co-opted her divorce story to work in his favor as well.
All right, She-Rah. We got to talk about
She-Rah.
She-Rah. What the fuck?
Because Robyn's feeling very vulnerable and used, exposed and helpless. And we know how that's changed over the years. None of that is still lingering around or anything. No. She is now She-Rah. She has split in a M. Night Shyamalan sort of fashion. How many different modes of Robyn do you think exist now? If this was all it took for the Great Recession to bring out She-Rah and Robyn, what do you think she's gone through now? How many other iterations are out there floating around?
I don't know. Who's been helping her through the past few years of existing with Kody and all of the divorces?
Yeah, solo
Is
wife.
She-Rah back? Why aren't they asking her about that on the couch?
Well, She-Rah is like this hard, tough shell exterior that she alleges to here that like
She-Rah is a personality disorder. That's what She-Rah is.
So this was a way to separate and distinguish, because Robyn still needs to be a helpless deer in the headlights, completely oblivious. Well, like oblivious to the world in a lot of different ways. She needs to be this kind of bumbling idiot that somebody can pick up and just add to his collection of wives. And she doesn't want to be too self-sufficient where she doesn't seem like she needs a man, because she desperately needs a man at this point. She has no way to take care of herself. She has no form of income.
My assumption is Robyn thinks that being confident and strong and able to navigate your world yourself as a woman are masculine traits that are not attractive.
She didn't want to over-masculinate herself, in Robyn's words, because she had to protect the softer, more sensitive parts of my psyche.
Who told her that? I don't think she knows the word psyche.
Psyche?
Is that the only thing she took away from their sessions with Nancy?
We have a hazmat suit for dealing with the rest of her psyche, because, yeah, if that's how we're approaching this topic, it seems weird. But she had to separate and distinguish, like, the kind and caring parts of her character and build up a fortress to not be vulnerable to anybody, not get tricked, not get taken advantage of. So when all of these creditors and all of these horrible people start calling her on the phone, she has to say, I'm a single mother and I got nothing to give you.
Do you think she answered the phone as She-Rah?
Hello, this is She-Rah. Leave a message.
Robyn Alice Sullivan Jessup Brown, well, not Brown yet,
She-Rah Brown,
cannot answer the phone.
No, but she will take a break from relationships. She's too badly damaged by this now. We're going to take a break. We have to separate and distinguish single Robyn, single She-Rah.
When did the break take place? Because I don't
Can
think
we map it?
In their culture, would it be acceptable to be moving on and courting or putting your scent out there while you're still actively in a divorce? I don't think so. And then she pretty immediately gets the paperwork finalized, meets Kody. What was this, a couple months that we took a break?
I guess that's the other question. If she was a year and a half to do the divorce, are we talking Robyn's form of divorce, where it's another man?
Maybe
carnally?
We're talking too much about paperwork shuffles.
Yeah. That's not what she's mentioning here. If we're going by Robert's standards, Robert's standards is the P's got to enter the V in order to break the seal on that marriage.
So what, it just fused back up in that year and a half?
Well, yeah.
She's pretty certain, though, after all this, when I do get back in the game, I'm going to be a plural wife. Because being a single mom has been hard.
This really sucks. And I'm going to need not only sister wives to help me raise my children, but also the husband needs to be very involved in raising my children too, because I don't want to keep doing this by myself. Seems to be the main basis, the main motivator, because then
a nanny could have helped with a lot of this.
A nanny probably would have, but she can't afford that. So then she needs a husband to pay for the nanny.
Is that the way she's seeing this?
I think that's the math equation and how that's worked out in her head.
Robyn plus man equals nannies. Plural.
Good. Yeah, put a star next to that. Those are good things. But then we get sort of a Mulan soundtrack moment for us. She couldn't care less what her husband looks like.
It only matters what he cooks like.
Beef, pork, and chicken. No, but like, be careful what you wish for, Robyn. If you're saying, I wouldn't care the least bit of what my husband looked like, you got to think long term on that too, because you have ended up with Kody and you are in a monogamous relationship with this man now.
It's all you're looking at for the rest of your life.
That's all you got.
Into eternity.
Oh, perpetually. In perpetuity.
Does that make her less shallow, or does that direct us in the way of gold digger? Because she is talking about how she wants the sole priority of this person to be taking care of their family.
And then, yes, view her as family and then take care of her along the way as well. I think that's kind of the unspoken part of this, too. She doesn't really want to contribute to taking care of a family as well. She just wants to be taken care of.
There's a lot of confusion about how the two of them met, because there's a series of stories that happen one after another.
There's mixed signals, and some people kind of get confused on the order of how this goes.
Well, I think this is strategic because Robyn's trying to make it sound like they were just ships passing in the night.
Well, that, and then also, I think she wants...
serendipitous.
Well, she's also throwing Meri a bone here, where she's kind of like crediting Meri in some ways.
Well, that's only because she doesn't want to look like she was out there looking for a married man.
Right, because of course we have yet another church service where Kody locks eyes with a potential future spouse.
Now, this is the infamous church service where Robyn has the bolt of lightning.
The lightning bolt moment.
That goes throughout her body. But interestingly, that's not Kody's experience. It's not mutual.
He kind of chalks this up as, he didn't even talk about it in the book.
No, he doesn't even acknowledge that it happened.
Yeah, so this is even less than an acknowledgement of the Christine electric shock moment. Different. Electric shock therapy, perhaps, could have saved us a couple of years here.
I want to analyze the lightning bolt a little bit, because the way she explains it was that she was kind of gawking at him from across the room.
She was staring at him.
He didn't know that she was looking at him. And then they happened to lock eyes. And she was super embarrassed that she got caught looking at him.
So that's shame. That's what the lightning bolt is.
That's what I was thinking.
You got caught.
I'm not sure you are able to identify and name your feelings, Robyn. But that doesn't necessarily mean that that was some type of message from God sending electricity through your body that this person was your match. It could just be that you are mortified that you were staring at a stranger.
There was embarrassment. So she knows embarrassment. She was embarrassed, and she had to avert her gaze and look down at her feet, much in the way Kristen Stewart does in Twilight for every interaction.
She does walk past him one more time to go to the bathroom.
And thinks to herself, he's probably an idiot. And then she just dismisses the rest of the encounter entirely. She doesn't give another thought to this man, even though she's very clearly thinking on Kody Brown. There must have been whiffs of the show at this point.
Well, this chapter actually made me think, does the show come before all of this happens, or the show comes once they've locked Robyn in? Because Kody talks a lot about how he doesn't know how he's going to be able to make this happen, that he has no money. They're not in the place to bring another family into their family and integrate them right now. But there's got to be something that's going to make this work. And I think it's the TLC money.
Robyn is the TLC money in a lot of ways. And that's what Kody ultimately attributes the success of the show to.
So failed meet cute number 1 is in the church. Now they have meet cute in the driveway at her cousin Reba's house. where we're supposed to believe that Reba just happened to have her over for the weekend, and Kody Brown was just driving by in his Corvette and happened to stop there to chat.
Not a Corvette, a convertible. It's not a Corvette.
To tell you the truth, I don't know the difference.
Corvette is an actual type of car. Well, convertible, you can have a convertible Corvette, I think. The convertible would be
the top coming down. He loves one of those.
He loves that.
You could put that on pretty much any car.
He's got options.
Man, remember that one that they got from that MLM? That gold one that was so ugly?
In Vegas?
Yeah.
You still see him cruising around in it in some of the older episodes. That one just looked like a PT Cruiser, though.
Yeah, it was very buggy.
A little bulbous.
Yeah, bulbous. That's the word that we're looking for.
Yeah.
I hated it. Now we're in the driveway.
Meri and Kody are in the convertible. And Kody is chatting it up with Reba. Reba Flava.
Reba McEntire.
A single mom who works 2 jobs. That's not Robyn. Okay, so it's Reba is then introducing Robyn to Kody.
Oh, so interesting how now we saw a guy in church that we're interested in. Our cousin happens to know him and his wives, and she is giving you a formal introduction in her driveway. There's no way that this just maybe was planned to some extent.
It's difficult to ignore the feelings, but I tried to suppress. You can't miss Kody. He's very animated and loud, and so Robyn is trying to steer all of her attention to Meri. Does Robyn kind of know that, like, the path to Kody is through Meri, though? So is she playing into that at this point?
Well, it's not really socially acceptable for a divorced woman to be directing her attention at a married man. So, yeah, I think she knows that the way she has to play this is that she has to give more attention to his wives.
She was sweet and engaging. Who's she talking about? She was talking about Meri. Who's that? Sweet and engaging?
We didn't even get such nice words said from Christine and Janelle, who knew her a lot better.
Yeah, these friendships. Because I think that was what Robyn saw here too, was that, oh, maybe I could eventually become friends with Meri. She didn't even want to commit to anything at that point. She was like, yeah, I still don't know. But I could see that being a possibility if it works in my favor.
But there's not really much within this chapter that makes it sound like there was a friendship that really played out between Robyn and Meri.
No, I just like that she floated the idea of, that was her main takeaway here, was not really thinking about Kody, but just maybe there's a potential friendship with Meri here that could be in the future. Maybe.
She's trying to play like She-Rah's on her shoulder the whole time, telling her not to open up to this. This isn't even a possibility. No one wants you and their family with your 3 kids. Don't even pursue it.
So a few weeks later...
Don't pursue it, but...
There is a church dance back in Lehigh. Of course there's a church dance.
And Miss Alice is insisting that she go to it. I wonder why. Why are we driving from southern Utah? She doesn't even have the money to make the trip. She has to borrow gas money from somebody to do it. To go to a church dance in Lehigh. Again, we're going to pretend that the intention was not to run into him again.
Alice's direction was to get your scent out there, which of course we do not agree with that sentiment at all. Get the stink on the cul-de-sac like Kody did.
I don't know. Her story annoys me because I was once a teenage girl as well, Robyn. And this all seems very calculated to me.
Oh, okay.
But she doesn't want to go to the dance because it's going to be so embarrassing because everybody knows what happened with her last marriage and that she's divorced. And
it's going to look bad. I'm going to feel uncomfortable. People are going to be judging me. But she goes and then basically feels all of those things standing in the room. Yes, I feel like a total idiot showing up to this. You have to know that you seem incredibly desperate because people have probably heard about you chatting it up with Kody Brown and Meri Brown.
She's not even from here. And she's at this dance.
Yeah, she doesn't even go here.
And she runs into Meri,
who was, again, so friendly and sweet. Who are we talking about here? Meri Brown?
You know what I noticed? There's no mention of Christine from this part of the story, but we know Christine was at this dance. She left early.
So maybe they were the 2 ships in the night that crossed paths there. It was Robyn and Christine it's best
That would
to
be
not.
better.
I think Kody knew, however he floated it to, because at this point it was like, has Kody talked to Janelle and Christine? I don't think he talked to Janelle
Nope.
at all
Nope.
about it. And then Christine, I don't know if he floated it as, hey, this is a potential person to join the family. I don't think so.
Well, it seems to me that this is the night that puts Robyn on Meri and Cody's radar officially.
Yes.
That they saw her at Reba's and they thought that she was interesting and she was cute, but they end up having this romantic dance where Flightless Bird plays and
Of
they're
course.
the only two in the gazebo and everyone else fades away. And then they talk for hours and hours to the point that the hall has shut down, the dance is over, and they're out on the steps just chatting it up with one another.
They just seem to lose track of time and place, according to Robyn, which is that why Kody just spends so much time at her house then? There is no schedule anymore once she joins the family.
There are no clocks in Robyn's house.
Because you fade into, it's just Robyn and Kody time. There's no anchors here.
That's
There's no
how
anchor
you
point.
preserve the honeymoon period.
I guess so. She was talking about how they stayed and talked until 2 a.m, is what Robyn said in her segment. Then Kody, in his segment, is talking about how he went home and then him and Meri continued to talk about their experience with Robyn for another 2 hours after that.
They stayed up all night doing this.
All night?
Yeah, Janelle's up now.
Oh,
Janelle's
well,
waking
that's
up to start her day,
5
and
a.m.
Kody and Meri are still laying in bed giggling about their experience meeting Robyn.
Kicking their feet under the blanket, talking about how great this is.
You see, it's pretty sad in this chapter what a bonding experience this is for Kody and Meri, just because Meri is totally buying into what Kody wants to do.
I think at this point, Meri is realizing, oh, this is something that Kody enjoys doing with me. Don't have a lot of those things left or around in the marriage right now, so I got to cling to this and wring this chamois as much as it's worth. But this is the whole topic of blending families. Cody's very averse to that. He was concerned with that, but that's something he's willing to throw to the side very quickly once they continue talking about how smoking hot Robyn is.
Yeah, it turns out all it took was just finding a hot 30-year-old wife who happens to have 3 kids, and suddenly he can look past all that.
He became transfixed by her spirit. Not just something to burning you feel in your loins, something deep and transcendent.
I was getting worried when you started that sentence. We've been listening to a lot of Ethan Plath rants lately, and I didn't know where we were going.
By the way, we are recapping the new season of Welcome to Plathville over on our other podcast, Surviving Reality. Make sure you check that out if you haven't. New episodes start this week.
There's a stirring in Kody Brown's pants, and...
Well, he's trying to say he doesn't feel it in the loins. I think he feels it primarily in the loins.
Purely in the loins. He barely knows her. They sat and talked outside of a dance hall for a couple of hours.
He specifically says he avoided flirting with her. He was intentionally...
He was talking to her cousin.
He was intentionally not talking to Robyn, and then he was upset because had he known, because... the next day, he was assuming that Robyn was going to join them at church and they would be able to pick up where they left off. But that is not the case because I think Robyn probably slept until noon, at least, that next day. She wasn't able to get up for church.
Again, there's no clocks in her house. She doesn't have alarms.
She lost track. She stayed up till 2 o'clock in the morning and you were yapping with her cousin instead. So why did you think that she was going to want to come and talk to you more? You were talking around her last night. Kody goes into some weird reasoning about how if he had known that, he would have taken them out to go get pie or something. What was he talking about?
Where are you going to buy a slice of pie at 4 o'clock in the morning?
You gonna go knock on a farmer's door?
Perkins. I bet you they're going to Perkins.
Perkins? I was gonna say Denny's. Denny's. They don't have pie though.
I don't know. You better not spit that fact because people are going to get told in the comments that is not the truth.
Maybe it's a regional thing. Maybe they have pie in Lehigh. Lehigh pie. Why not? That would look great on a menu.
I bet you there are 24-hour pie stands where the Mormons live.
It seems like it would be more of a dairy-based product. That is where we find the success in the Brown family.
I don't know. I think pie pairs better with carbonated beverages.
Oh, I was going to say, like, in terms of the burning in the loins, like an American pie sort of scenario here.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah, he's going to need a pie either way.
Something, because Meri's pie is not going to cut it.
That's why they're staying up talking. He's trying to avoid anything else happening. He's letting day break. He's hoping that she's going to turn to stone. He's got to run down the clock. So, yeah, Robyn went back home. She doesn't attend his church that morning. He's devastated. So he decides to walk up to Reba and be like, bitch, where's your cousin?
And who's she thinking about?
Disgusting.
What?
Disgusting.
Well, and obviously...
Is that not reading like some type of disturbing SNL skit?
That's a chauvinistic pig is what that is.
Yeah.
The exact archetype that he
Why
has...
don't you call your cousin and ask her who she's thinking about right now, because she was up with me all night last night. Gross.
I think Robyn was up with Kody in his mind, but like she hasn't really given him a second thought. And Reba is just absolutely baffled by this interaction. She doesn't know what to say. What do you say to that? I'm going to warn Robyn.
Excuse me, sir?
Of your presence now.
We're in a church.
Yeah, so something's off here. Cody's talking about how great things are with the family. Everything's so stable and secure right now. Wouldn't want to risk that for Robyn. Maybe, but I would, though. He didn't really hem and haw over that too long. Again, it was just, I didn't like where it is Kody and Meri who are making all of these decisions holistically.
They are scheming together to bring Robyn into the family. And there are very serious things that they need to consider about the consequences of bringing another person into the family. He's talking about he doesn't even have money to afford the family they have right now. And now it's not just another wife. It's a wife and her 3 kids that you're considering bringing into your family?
So Reba can sense that maybe the intention is going awry here. So she's inviting herself over to check Kody and Meri at their house.
She's scoping things for Robyn. Come on.
I think she's probably trying to get a feel.
She's going to go see how nice is this place they got. What's the setup? Do the kids look like they've got everything they need? Do they have nice cars in the driveway? Is this an upgrade for Robyn or a downgrade? Because we're not going to even come back and talk to him again if it's not going to get us to a better place.
Honestly, you couldn't really go too far down from where Robyn was at, I don't think. Like, we're pretty much there.
Well, she claims she had plenty of options available to her.
I think
she's weighing out the options.
Right. And then this is where Meri starts getting nervous. She gets attacks
Cold
of
feet.
the what ifs right before Reba comes over, because now shit's getting real. Uh-oh. It's not just this playful banter that me and Kody have. It's not pillow talk anymore. It's very real. We're inviting this into our home.
I hated this part because she's worried. She's saying, what if we're not the right fit? What if this isn't what we're meant to be doing? What if she's not meant to be with us? This could be wrong. And he tells her, basically it's too late. He's got a spiritual and emotional connection with her, and it can't be undone by anyone's personal insecurities, even yours, Meri.
Undeniable. Yeah, and this is before he's asking Janelle or Christine for their input. So if you're already addressing this with Meri of nobody's opinions can change the matter.
There's no turning back now. It's too late.
What? Then you didn't get permission.
And I don't like the manipulative aspect of making it sound like it's a personal insecurity if you're not on board with this.
Yeah, because God said it's okay, so why are you saying it's not okay? That must be something wrong with you, Meri.
Even though there are very real concerns that each of the wives are able to bring to the table about bringing another woman into this whole situation.
We don't have a room for her. I'd say that's at the top of the list.
They don't have any room for her or her kids. They don't have any money to help support her or her kids. She's going to have to move from another place, which means she's going to have to lose her job, and she won't have anything to support herself with. The kids in their family have always been raised with the exact same parents, and now we're bringing a total stranger into the house and disrupting the peace. But let's forget those are insecurities.
But we've both been bitten by the same love bug, and our feelings are very profound for Robyn. Profound indeed.
Not so much on Robyn's end. She's trying to make it seem like it's a push and pull with She-Rah. Still, she has this battle of the will.
They're fighting over who gets the light.
Does she have DID?
They're back and forth.
This is really like a soap opera.
Yeah.
Where she's just continuously changing from one personality to the next.
A brain transplant was probably somewhere in there in the storyline. So who is Reba having the conversation with? With Robyn or with She-Rah? Because she gets caught up on the whole scoop of the visit over with Kody and Meri.
And Reba's like, you better get up here immediately before they change their minds, or before they go home and tell the other wives.
Yeah, before anybody else gets an idea of how to talk Kody out of this. I think I got it pretty much locked in with that this is a thing from God. This is like a divine intervention sort of thing. But like, you need to land this plane.
I want to know what they said to Reba that got her so jazzed about this possibility that Robyn can join this family that she's rushing Robyn to get back in the car and drive back to Lehigh right now.
But then at this point,
did they push a TLC contract at her or something?
Something. I don't know. I don't know what happened here. But then it's like, Robyn seems like she's caught off guard on this too, because then she's saying, even though I'm totally cool with polygamy and I'm way ready to have multiple sister wives, I never thought that I would be the fourth wife coming into a family. That's kind of like stewage class.
Yeah, that's part of it. And I bet you she is not ever going to say it in this book, but he has a lot of kids. I'm not sure that was a pro for Robyn, because that's less attention to be given to her kids. And we see how much she wants them to be the center of their father's world.
So this is where Robyn's trying to say that she was apprehensive. She's telling
Sure.
Reba,
Jan.
no way. I don't need these complications.
And I'm going to need to borrow more gas money if you want me to come back up again.
I'm a little light. Send cash.
Too bad Cash App didn't exist yet. She gets some
Venmo.
chalk paint, write that on her back window.
Right, yeah. Courting. Robyn goes a-courting. Send me gas money.
Courting fund. Yeah, Kody still hasn't told Janelle.
Among other things, though, even though Robyn isn't able to receive donations from strangers via Venmo for her courting fund, she is trying to get some signs from God as part of her courting fund, even though she knows he doesn't work that way. He only works that way for rentals. If you're looking for rental property,
he is in the real estate game.
Real estate is really where God will give you the signals and then save things specifically for you, because it is a small miracle if you're able to secure any sort of real estate in this market.
Husbands, he's not into that so much.
No, not so much. That's just, it's neither here nor there. It doesn't matter whose name is on the property as long as you're there as part of, the purchasing power that happens from it.
So she drives to Lehigh. She doesn't even get out of the car in Reba's driveway, and she's like, come on, we're going to the Browns. This very moment.
And so this is where Kody realizes, oh no, if Robyn and Reba are coming for a visit, I need to tell Janelle about this, or else she will be very upset with me. I can no longer hide it.
You know what? Later on in this chapter, I was wondering why Maddie didn't know who the strange young woman sitting in the corner of their home was. But maybe that makes sense because Janelle didn't really have the time nor the background information to prepare her children for Robyn's visit.
No, didn't get to explain that to anyone else.
He's trying to explain this away.
What did we think of Janelle's reaction to Kody breaking the news to her about Robyn, this potential fourth wife?
This is why Janelle is annoying. Everyone praises her. I'll say there's a lot of things to like about Janelle. This is one of the less likable things, that she plays right into Kody's delusion.
She's telling him, oh, it's like this is meant to be, like it's supposed to happen. She felt a burning in her bosom.
Maybe she thought that Robyn was going to have a paycheck and a 401k. Could
she
support herself. A single mom who works 2 jobs.
She thought at least we could have another line of credit that we can float some stuff on or something. She wasn't expecting to be saddled with $30,000 of more debt.
And to that I say, sometimes things sound fun, exciting, like a good idea. And then you put the pen to paper and you sit down, you write a pros and cons list, and you realize, actually, it's a pretty bad idea and I probably shouldn't do that.
Is a burning in your bosom a good thing? Is that supposed to?
You're really fascinated.
Are you
by
supposed
that.
to feel?
She had heartburn.
That's what I'm saying. Is this indigestion? Are you having? It's like a regurgitation that's happening now. Acid reflux? Is that the burning? Is it in your esophagus?
Maybe it's from all the lemons. He had some lemon juice and water before this.
Very acidic.
It was feeding Janelle.
So, like, I don't
to revive her after one of their sessions,
revitalize her. But it's so like the way to go about that, though. I don't think that would be a good sign. They're taking this as, wow, that's an undeniable affirmation from God himself, who came down and told Janelle. That sounds like a panic attack.
Yeah, I got to tell you, if I was in a situation like this where I was thinking every bodily sensation was some type of communication from God, I'd be in big trouble because I have a lot of sensations and anxiety and panic and all kinds of feelings of terror and emotions that come over me.
Getting a lot of messages from God this week. The inbox is full.
Janelle's on board.
Sure, I guess.
Christine's disappointed that she hasn't met her yet. That kind of seems like maybe an important element of bringing someone into the family is for everyone to have met them.
See, when I read the sentence, it said Christine expressed her disappointment. And I was like, oh, thank God, it's about fucking time. And then I went to the next line, that she hadn't stayed later at the dance to meet her. And I was like, oh, get out of here.
Do we agree that they purposely left a lot out of this part of the book about the disagreements and the concerns that were voiced?
I think this is where Christine just took it upon herself to attempt to scare Robyn off.
Okay, so maybe it's keep sweet.
Yeah.
So we don't lose points with Kody.
Right.
But hopefully it's not going to get that far anyway.
She's in a delicate state, but they're not even courting yet. So maybe Christine and Janelle were like, oh, this is just another infatuation, because Kody is admittedly smitten with Robyn at this point, but he's not really getting anything back from Robyn in return at this point. When she shows up at their little barbecue here, when he's manning the grill, and I'm assuming destroying a couple of burgers, because we've all seen this man cook beef.
Burning everything.
He just roasts it. The burning in his loins, the burning of the steaks.
It's okay, though, because he's got 3 convertibles parked in the driveway to make sure Robyn walks past them as she gets up to the front door.
Well, yeah, they've staged the scene here for the life that Robyn could be living if she joins their family.
What would your reaction to the 3 convertibles have been?
I don't drive my insecurities, so for me personally, I would just see that as more enlightening of Kody's character than anything else.
I'm a practical girly like Janelle, so my thought would have been, that's a really stupid fleet of cars to have as a family with so many children.
Did they hide the Suburban at that point? Because they had to have had the Suburban.
Where was Janelle's car during this with the duct-taped window? I'm pretty sure they had that thing out of sight.
Had to roll it up into the shop there.
It's parked in the fajita cantina in the back.
It's up on blocks.
Close the doors.
Yeah, there's no...
They threw a tarp over it.
There's no tires on it. They're basically just recycled rubber at this point. Can't legally call them tires.
She-Rah is screaming at her, leave, get out, go.
Don't let him take you to a second location. These are all good instincts to have, but you need to listen to them.
Okay, she's been waiting for a sign from above, but all of the negative thoughts that she has, she attributes to She-Rah, the separate entity, and not her own gut, her own intuition. Maybe that is the sign. No?
Are you mislabeling? That was a big part of,
Just a thought I'm going to throw out there. Maybe that's what you've been waiting for. And it said, leave. You don't belong here.
There's a lot of people convinced that God is telling them to do things, but Satan is a great deceiver. So maybe he's pretending to be God and telling you to do some really heinous shit. Maybe.
You could really confuse the shit out of Robyn if you ever got a shot at trying to talk to her about some of this stuff. It's okay, though. Baby Savannah's getting her little feet washed in the sink by Kody, and that's all Robyn needed to see. So she's 100% in on this now.
The part that I highlighted, though, because this is just a scene that Robyn stumbled upon, Kody is just
as she just wanders through the house aimlessly.
Oh, not aimlessly. I walked through Meri's apartment, and I highlighted that. Meri's not going to like that. We're not allowed to go through Meri's apartment.
You got scolded for that after, didn't you?
And
if not, that shows us the show that they were putting on for this woman, that Robyn was allowed to traverse through Meri's apartment to get to Janelle's.
To just go traipsing around, probably with her shoes on, and go tracking through the house. Yeah, get out of here.
That's why Kody is desperately trying to wash the sticky shit off of Savannah's feet, because God forbid she walks through Meri's apartment.
Please don't have Meri yell at me again for this.
It's so funny to think of all this completely out of context, that she's watching it and thinking, what an amazing moment, and doesn't know the backstory.
Nobody prompted him. Yeah, like for the reason of this was just something he took upon himself to do. Kind of, maybe. But also, don't put that evil on Savannah, making this the reason why you started having your walls fall down for Kody Brown.
Walls and the panties.
Well,
no, they're chaste. This is going to be a chaste courtship. Meri's already trying to get her to join the family. The teasing has begun with the wives because nobody can actually express a serious emotion. So
another Mulan reference, though, too. Would you like to stay for lunch, for dinner, forever? That's another Mulan quote. So
what is happening?
Did Robyn just watch Mulan? Is that a big part of this? What went into this chapter?
Maybe it was on repeat in their households.
She's just subconsciously internalizing a lot of the dialogue and the lyrics.
All right, so we're putting that on the list of movies that Robyn loves, because we have the Twilight Saga and Mulan.
Okay.
It's a growing list.
That works. Oh, so this is like a secondary visit after the Savannah foot bath. And so this is like a lunch after church where Robyn is trying to throw all of her dirty laundry at the Browns. Figurative, not literal, yet.
Unless somebody wants to do that.
Unless, yeah, if you guys are open for that, I can throw the laundry basket in the back. There's probably plenty of room in the car.
Do I just put it on the counter?
Do I just
There's
set
a
it
bill
here?
Underneath it.
Yeah, like, do I set it here? Will you just take it from there? Or, like, do you wrap it up?
Is there a place that I go to collect it? Do you fold it? Do you fold it too?
Because some of it needs to be steamed, and, like, it can't be, it's delicate.
No, everything's made of polyester.
Well, I was thinking of all of the Victoria's Secret stuff. You can't put that in on a regular cycle. It's going to disintegrate.
Has anyone else had their Victoria's Secret underwear just to disintegrate in the dryer?
Just explode.
Yeah. I had to stop buying them a long time ago.
Oh, boy.
Real decrease in quality.
Okay.
She's looking around. This is such a stable family that this is what she and her kids have been missing out on.
A couple of the older kids were actually being picked up and coming home from Wynn's Ranch up in Wyoming. So Robyn gets the full fanfare experience, a loud, chaotic Brown family reunion that takes place here. And she sees this as a family that loves one another, something that her kids are missing out on.
Because you don't have a family unless you have a man.
And Robyn fell in love with Kody's family before she fell in love with the man. Allegedly.
They are going to have a serious talk, though.
Yeah, how did this conversation go?
She's got to lay out all of her dirty laundry because they're going to find out eventually. She's got a lot of debt she needs them to pay off for her.
I don't know if she brought it. Did she bring up the debt? I think this was more so about her divorce.
That's part of it. Those things are intertwined.
Oh, right,
Remember, she took the debt on to keep the peace in the divorce.
Part of the settlement. So maybe this is where the sentiment begins to turn. Maybe that spiritual awakening that happened is now being turned around into something else that we're feeling, some distress.
The story she's giving is that her ex-husband and her, they had a very destructive relationship. Now, we've never actually gotten a lot of clarity on what Robyn means because she's very vague whenever she talks about this, but she has made it sound like there was some type of abuse within their marriage. There was a lot of debt. There was a lot of unhappiness. It seemed like they lived in poverty. She doesn't want to repeat that again. I think that's the only reason that she's being honest about it.
Yeah, she's saying, hey, I'm not going to settle for that this time around. I need some more security, some stability.
And also, I think it really appealed to the savior complex that some of them have.
Well, Kody specifically. And then it would
I think that
garner sympathy from the wives.
from the wives.
Yeah.
Yes.
Of how terrible this circumstance must be for Robyn. She doesn't seem that bad, so I guess it's better to have her join the family. But this is where Cody's falling in love with Robyn as part of this dialogue that's happening here. She is very forthcoming. She's very direct. She's all business. And that's right
Marriage
up
is a
Cody's alley.
contract, remember?
That's right up Cody's alley, yeah.
I think she plays this exactly right. She read this man for filth in that she was not going to pursue him, which was the mistake each of the other wives made.
So Robyn's not going to ask her father or any of the church leaders for permission for Kody to court her. That's something that Cody's going to have to do if he wants to. So then that just plays right into it of, you know exactly where Kody is. He's tripping over himself to pursue this more.
Mm-hmm. He's pursuing her. He's trying to impress her. He's chasing her.
But that leads into the negative stereotype that people were seeing about Robyn at that time. She was uncomfortable with the topic of she's a divorced woman in the church. People were already under the impression that she was hunting for a husband, is what she says, which was completely untrue. Obviously, she has to clarify that.
No, she's just attending church services far away from her home, scoping out the available men.
Well, I like the one sentence here that says, so I was especially careful not to give the impression that I was desperate to remarry. But that implies that she was desperate to remarry. However, she was careful not to give the impression that she was desperate.
I mean, how could she not be? It doesn't sound like her experience being alone in the world is going very well.
Well, this doesn't seem like something that Kody takes up as the mantle here to pursue Robyn either, though, because it's Meri who convinces Kody, you need to go talk to the church leaders about this if it's something you're going to pursue. So Meri does this, but then also Robyn mentions that Christine and Meri accompanied Kody to go talk to the church elder about this. So now we're getting a couple of the other wives involved here.
Because it's going to look better for him if he walks in there with a couple of wives to say, we're totally on board with this. We're supportive of it. He's not doing this behind our backs, even though that was the origin of how this started. But now we're all aware and we kind of like her. I don't know.
I feel bad for her.
She's okay. We feel bad for her.
You're going to adopt Robyn. And that's great.
Okay, that could have been a way that this was going to go. Adults adopting adults. Robyn would have accepted that as well.
I've always wanted a big sister.
Finally, Robyn starts to fall in love with Kody.
It took a little bit. It's an acquired taste.
She's got everyone on board now. Now it's socially acceptable for her to say that. She's got all his wives on board, the support of the church elders, her father's on board.
But also, she didn't want to let Kody know that she's falling in love with him because she's still waiting for an affirmation from God directly.
No, because the game would stop working if she did that.
Well, also, she wanted to hear angels singing in her ears. Again, it's like buying property. You got to hear the angels singing.
Before you commit, before you sign any contracts.
I need a sign from God. I'm not asking for much. I'm just asking for a sign from God.
Is that so much to ask for?
That's so much to ask for?
God, you're acting like it's like supernatural or something.
Like divine miracles and whatever.
She's chatting on the phone with Meri. That's the beginning and the end of a lot of Meri's friendships. I thought that was ironic that when she was courting Meri's husband, she made the time to call her.
That's pretty impressive.
But she seemed to not be able to send her a text during COVID.
After that, I think I'm good. We're good now. Maybe she was out at the grocery store getting chicken.
That was the only time they were alone. It was very romantic.
Oh, yeah, that was Robyn and Cody's alone time. Is that also now just a slang euphemism for having sex is to get chicken from the grocery store? Is that what it's going to evolve into
You take
now?
the convertible to do that.
Right, yeah.
Cody's head over heels. This is ridiculous. Like, we've never seen him be so in love with anyone else ever before. He doesn't talk this way about any of the other wives. And he's trying to figure out what he's going to do because now he has permission to keep things moving with Robyn. But this is the worst time that it could possibly happen because he's at an all-time low in his career. And he's selling signs. He's selling billboards. So when he's selling things, he's making money. When he's not selling much, he's not making anything.
Well, and he's getting extra scared because the spiritual witnesses are stacking up at this point, because now Christine, who we know has the gift, she has experienced an even more intense spiritual witness that Robyn should marry Kody. More intense than the spiritual witness that Christine received on knowing that she was supposed to marry Kody. What does that say?
Girl, I want to go back and talk about that.
You felt stronger about Robyn marrying Kody than you felt about marrying Kody.
Right, I feel conflicted because at one point we know she's pregnant with Truly and she has the sight when she's pregnant with Truly.
So is that the reason why there is this draw to it where it's like, yes, this is a good thing because this is your ticket out. This will get you out of here.
I don't know. Or just the way things have worked out. Yeah. Kody and Robyn, the only two still together. The ones that believe they're meant to be. They do have more of a relationship foundation than she and Kody do.
The stars aligned. Yeah, this is destiny. Meant to be.
So I'm conflicted about that versus just trying to garner Kody's favor.
Yeah, it didn't seem like it was just something that Christine was trying to show that she was on board with by joining the knowing club, as Kody refers to it, because everyone else is in the knowing club. Everybody knows that Robyn's going to join the family, except for Robyn at this point.
How much pressure is that to put on everybody?
That's a lot. That's a lot of pressure.
You're going to have your moment too.
Because we all know that you're the one who's going to be joining the family.
Yeah, and that'll be pretty weird if we all have a spiritual witness and you don't.
So you're just group thinking her and gaslighting her into marrying you is basically what's going on. But then the real feat that happens is because this feels like it is at Robyn's design, though. So she's tricked all of you into convincing her, begging her to join your family. Reverse psychology to the max.
They go on their first date, and Kody blurts out that he's in love with her.
And so Robyn's assessment here is, I may have loved Kody, but I wasn't saying it till I was 100% sure. Words can be cheap, and wives are the most expensive prostitutes. Oh, that's
so
not.
Get used to that.
Well, that's not in the book, but words can be cheap. Yeah, she wanted
Prepare
something
to pony up.
That was something. She wants something with a little bit more resale value attached to it. David Yerman.
Did she insert another dig here where she's talking about some of my sister wives were more interested in the sisterhood than the husband?
Well, that was a shot at Christine. Christine's made that abundantly clear.
I was like, your sister wives or people who have sister wives? You mean of the 3 sister wives you now have, right?
I think that was what she was saying. And of the 3, I think Christine is the only one who fits that description, because Janelle wasn't really interested in the sister wives system necessarily, the sisterhood there. She just wanted a good father for her children. So I think she's specifically talking about Christine.
I don't think that was so meek and shy of her to put in this book.
Well, then she kind of goes broad, and everybody's catching strays here, because she also knows some people in our faith who want a quick courtship and engagement, but I needed to build a better foundation. So she's talking about how a longer get to know you stage, this precursor to courtship that Robyn was allowed to do with Kody Brown, because it's okay, because that was what she felt like doing.
No, but then she simultaneously complains about how long it took them to get married.
Right. That's the other part of it. So how are you going to say you were the one who didn't want to rush into something quick, but then also, I would have married Kody sooner had I had the opportunity. It was your opportunity.
Well, she has to find her big moment, her big spiritual witness. So she starts fasting, which sounds a lot like what Kody did when he was deciding whether or not he should be with Meri.
Well, it's usually the same general principle, yes, of not eating food, yeah.
So as she's starving and they're on a date, they drive to Thanksgiving Point, which that's already rude when somebody's fasting, just to go somewhere named Thanksgiving.
To recommend, yeah, maybe that's where we should go hang out for our date here. I see Kody hasn't really broadened the horizons of the dating experience aside from driving around in a car someplace.
I don't think he has the money to take her out anywhere.
I know, but like that's what I'm saying. He hasn't thought of anything else to do here.
I mean, maybe we just go to a park and sit on a bench. That's maybe better than just sitting in the car.
Go for a walk, yeah, like on a trail somewhere or something.
Okay, the irony that he takes her to a location where he has a billboard he's trying to sell. Robyn has been listening to his sign and billboard stories for a very, very long time.
He's like, are you sure you don't know anybody who might be interested?
As he must be rambling about the details of this sign and how badly he needs to sell it, she starts to, I can only assume, hallucinate. And the heavenly spirit starts talking to her and gives her her affirmation that this is her man.
Her heart grew 3 sizes that day. She felt her heart start to swell. What does that mean? Does that sound like a panic attack too? This all sounds terrible.
It sounds like her heart rate increased because she was tired of hearing him ramble about the sign.
I was going to say, it sounds like you're stressed. You're probably, maybe blood pressure's a little bit off. Your blood sugar definitely is off.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in your body right now. Maybe we shouldn't be reading into any of these signals. But
so she's attributing this immediately to the heavenly spirit, and this is her affirmation. Can I just say, the number of people who base their relationships and the decisions to move forward with marrying someone, making those decisions on an empty stomach, I don't think we ever would have ended up together. Because we fight if we're hungry.
That's true.
So this is not good.
Things get dark if we get hungry.
Yeah, it's not a good place that we end up making decisions from if we're both hungry. So I say share a meal. Sit down, eat some food, then mull it over.
I'm confused about how we go from this story of this visit to Thanksgiving Point to Kody rushing to propose to Robyn because she comes to him and says, hey, there are other people interested in me.
Well, so I don't know if that was how it was presented necessarily.
Okay.
So I think, well...
How'd you interpret this?
Because the way that Kody was talking about it was he had a plan to ask Robyn to marry him on her birthday because he wasn't able to buy her a gift. So he was going to propose to her instead. Then he finds out that there's an older esteemed man in their church who was calling to inquire about courting Robyn. Even though Robyn told the man she knew where she belonged, I was still shaken. So this felt more like a pressure.
Yeah, this felt like they had a family friend pretend to be interested in Robyn to put the pressure on Kody to make a commitment.
Well, I mean, like, yeah, but that...
I think the worst of her.
I don't think it was Robyn has other suitors. I mean, this was a man
there
who
are
was
other
calling...
people who are interested
other people
in
who
her.
Are interested, but I don't think that she was interested in entertaining that in any way, shape, or form. However...
I think she was interested in entertaining anybody who had deep pockets.
However...
And was willing.
No, I'm just saying, so like, she used it to her benefit, though, because then that just makes her look better, because she's saying, hey, thanks, but no thanks. And then she's turning back to Kody Brown and saying, well, what's your next move? And that becomes...
This is her checkmate.
Yeah.
Yep. We need Tony to give us some more chess analogies that we can add in here.
Right, yeah. Because then basically Kody is jumping into this decision where even though, a few days before, it seemed like they were both in love with each other. Robyn had her affirmation. They kissed.
Oh, they kissed.
Oh, they didn't kiss. Oh, well, they kissed.
They're gonna kiss.
Okay, so like at Thanksgiving Point, it was just dancing around and crying. I think that was the emotional release, allegedly, that took place there. Maybe not the only release, but at the time, that's all they're willing to give up in the book here. So then Cody's talking about how after this brush with, not a Caleb brush, but a brush with another suitor here, before I knew what I was doing, I took her hand and asked her to marry me. That sounds like the Kody that we heard about a couple chapters ago, who just jumps right into stuff.
A little impulsive.
Rushing. Yeah, and not thinking this through.
And we're going to seal it with a kiss because Christine decided to be so chaste during their courtship that she refused to kiss and waited until the altar. And at some point made the mistake of confessing to Kody that that was something that she wished she hadn't done and that he should not do it either if he was to take another wife, which, would never happen because we're happy with 3 and that's the end.
But that wasn't, I don't think that was actually how that conversation went. I think Christine was saying The only thing that she told Kody was that she wishes that they hadn't waited to kiss until the altar, because the fact that they did, she was kind of bummed out by that. Plus, also, maybe she would have sparked a little something in the sight there, the foresight, to know that something's amiss.
Would have woken an oracle up or something?
Yeah, so then she would have kind of realized in that moment, because then at the altar, it's too late. There's no backing out for her. So I think she had voiced that for her, she wished that she hadn't waited until the altar. Kody then took that as, oh, when I propose to Robyn, I need to kiss her.
He claims that she made him promise that it's written in the book.
No, I know. That's what he says in the book. And then that does not line up, because then I don't know why Christine was arguing it too, because then it was like, did you read the book? Because Kody talked about that too in the book. She probably skipped over the Kody and Robyn sections.
I don't think she could read it.
Yeah, I don't think she wanted to get through that. But we read the book, okay?
So he takes Robyn's face in his hands and he kisses her, which now we know Robyn didn't really find that to be a fond experience. It's a little sloppy.
It's not her style. She's more of a throw her on her back and call her Spider Monkey.
They wouldn't get married for 6 more months. Ah!
It's an eternity.
That's eternity. That's devastating.
Lifetime at this point. Don't know how we're going to merge these families together. Don't know how I'm going to financially support this, but God's going to help me. Good luck, God. And now what do we got? We got a bunch of family photos. Well, a couple of family photos mixed in here.
We got all of their wedding photos.
Mostly wedding photos. The same wedding photos that they've used on the show for the past 19 seasons.
Yeah, we've all seen these.
Every single one of them.
Some photos from their courtships.
Let me tell you, the photo descriptions on some of these. So, Meri and Kody enjoying the snow. Janelle and Kody pose against the rocks.
Robyn and Kody at Plymouth Rock, but we don't see Plymouth Rock.
It's in Cody's pants.
All right, I really can't look through all of these. They're black and white also, which, come on. We couldn't have paid a little bit more for a couple of pages to have some nicer color photos.
They're going to throw the color. Yeah, that's up to the publisher, I think, as far as what they're going to print and how they're going to incorporate that in there with some semi-glossies in the middle of the book here. I also like how they just took the landscape photos and they just print them portrait. Just turn them sideways. You'll be able to turn the book.
They'll figure it out.
It's big enough.
There's also just pictures of the cameraman.
Yeah, they didn't mention anything about the show or anything. Well, I think they do maybe in the later segments here, if I remember correctly. So maybe some of that comes up, but it's literally just 1 or 2 photos of like crew people.
Who shall remain nameless, I guess.
They don't know their names.
They're not.
Yeah, they don't know.
They're
it's
not
just the
worthy
crew.
of having names.
Camera crew, one of the cameramen. And that's it for part 1, matrimony. Stay tuned next week for part 2. We kick off sorority. That's going to be chapter 5.
Means we're starting back up with Meri again, huh?
We got some more Meri action going here.
And if you're looking for a little extra content to listen to, over on Patreon, we've got all of our recaps of Sister Wives, season 1 through season 19. We've got bonus content. We're releasing a Let's Talk About It this week. We're recapping the last episode of Virgins from TLC.
Oh boy, it's a good one.
And we have another Mediocre Down coming up where we will be deep diving into the innermost thoughts of the Plath family. We're talking about...
It's dangerous in there.
We're going to see where it takes us, but we're talking about Ethan Plath and his mama.
I would like to say, the life and crimes of Kim Plath. And then we're probably going to delve into some of the darker side of the Ethan Plath story that's been coming to light here before the next season.
Thanks for listening. See you next time.